Math World, solving time, excellent. Welcome to our third Math World video. We know it's been a while, but we have been doing so much learning, and so we just wanted to kind of circle back around to problem solving, word problems, except this time we're going to be focusing on two-step problems. So we're going to give you some examples, or an example of what we do in class, and then we're going to give you two problems to work on at home. Make this bigger so everyone can see. All right, so here we have an example of a fourth grade STAR question. A baker made 24 cakes each day for 2 days. He used 4 cups of flour for each cake he made. What was the total number of cups of flour the baker used on these 2 days?
Okay, so on this problem, with it being a two-step problem, we always want to ask ourselves if do we have a total. So the first part of this question says a baker made 24 cakes each day for 2 days. So we need to ask ourselves, do we know how many cakes he made total? If not, then we need to create our equation that is going to give us the answer to how many cakes. If we don't do this part, a normal fourth grader sometimes will take the 24 cakes and multiply it by the 4 cups of flour to get their answer. And with the STAR test, they will always have that as an answer choice just to mess them up. So we want to make sure that we find our total first.
Okay, so you'll see just like our homework when we understand and plan. So I understand that the first unknown is how many cakes were made in the 2 days. So I know in 1 day, 24 cakes were made. So how many cakes were made in 2 days? So then I can go ahead and multiply that because I have days and I have cakes and I'm looking for a total. So in step 1, that's pretty easy. So I can say there are 48 cakes made. But if I go back to the question's asking about how many cups of flour did they use in total in 2 days for all these cakes. So this is not my answer, but it will be one of my answer choices. So I have to make sure that I'm reading the whole question and knowing that there's a second part. So remember the second part is how many cups of flour. So number of cups of flour. And the story told us that there were 4 cups of flour for each cake. So that's something I know is 4 cups of flour. Okay, so something else that we talk about in class, just like when we are doing our homework, is that we have a plan for our story problem, for our word problem. And so this is our unknown 1. How many cakes are there? So I already did first step of unknown 1. And then unknown 2 is how many cups of flour did they use total? So I know that they used 4 cups. So my plan here is to find the total number of cakes and then take that total number of cakes and multiply it by the 4 cups of flour to get the total cups. Sorry for the messiness of flour. All right, and step 2.
Great. So for step 2, once we found what our total amount of cakes are, now we can go ahead and solve the problem with a question saying how many total cups of flour did they use in total? Remember, each cake received 4 cups. So now that we have our 48 cakes, we can go ahead and multiply that by 4, which will give us a total number of flour cups. And I want them, when they're multiplying the second step, I want them to realize what they're looking for in the problem, in the question. So the question's saying cups of flour, so their second step should have to do something with cups of flour. So our 4 represents the flour. So 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3, 17, 18, and 19. So it took 192 cups of flour to make those 48 cakes.
And like Ms. Hill said, there are going to be answer choices that are going to have 48. There might be answer choices that have division. So the last thing we want our kids to do when they are solving is ask themselves, is this reasonable? Does it make sense? If the question's looking for a total number of cups of flour, well, if it takes 4 cups for 1 cake, they can even think of an input-output table. They know that 1 cup is 4, 2 cups is 8. So they're looking for that pattern. They know that number is going to be much larger because we are looking for a total. All right, let me show you what we are going to give you all for your assignment at home.
Okay, so the first problem we'd like you to try is Diane worked 18 hours each week during the summer. She worked a total of 8 weeks and earned $9 an hour. How much money did Diane earn during the summer? So remember, we want the kids to plan out step 1, step 2, and make sure that they are answering the question being asked in step number 2.
And that the answer is going to have to do with money because the question is asking about how much money was earned during the summer. So make sure that when they're going back and asking themselves, does this make sense? Did I answer the question that has to do with money? All right, the second one is, and this one is going to take a little bit more time, it's going to take a little bit more thinking, and they may have to draw it out just to make some type of model so it makes sense to them. So the fourth grade classes at his school made flowers to decorate the cafeteria. There are 5 fourth grade classes at the school. To make each flower, or to make 1 flower, 4 sheets of paper were used. The classes used a total of 300 sheets of paper. Each class made the same number of flowers. How many flowers did each 4th grade class make? So it's a lot of words. You'll notice that we have 3 numbers in here. You have 5 classes, you have 4 sheets of paper per flower, and you have 300 sheets of paper used total. So I can't wait to see the different ways that we are solving. Remember, we don't all have to be in the standard algorithm lane. If we are still using area models, partial quotient, partial product, that is okay with us. We just want them solving and understanding the questions and how they're solving. So we hope this helps. Please reach out to us with any questions that you have. And thanks for joining us for our video.
Bye.
Solving time.